Hi. So for today's show and tell, I brought in my police car. Vroom, vroom. It's white and black. My dad says it's because of the racial integration. I don't know what that means, so I'm going to say yes. It looks a lot like the one actually that my dad was taken away in last night. They came in, it was like, whoa! And then people walked out, and there's my dad beating with nightsticks for an hour, and then took him away with the flashing lights. These lights don't flash, the battery's dead. And when I asked my mom to get us some new batteries, she said that we couldn't afford it on the Gilligan's Island, that is our wife. She wished that she married the professor instead of the skipper. But I don't know what that means either. Who's Bob Denver? And why does she make my mom so sad? And that's the end of that. Literally an entire thing just about why. Thing's like 10 years old. Fine. It's like so covered in dust right now that I'm amazed I'm not sneezing all over this shit. Yeah. But anyway, anyone here who knows Bob Denver's family, I respect him as a man, and I pity him as an actor. But damn. Gilligan's Island lasted for 3 years, and he never, ever escaped to the role. It was weird. There were like 7 made-for-TV movies. They all had the same exact theme. Oh my god, it's Gilligan! They're off the island! They're back on the island. It's like Lost, but with wackiness. That's where Lost came from. Polar Bear was originally played by the wealthy dowager. I watched too much Gilligan's Island in my life, just leave it alone. By the way, Jasper, wherever you are, it's not that I'm politically inclined, it's just that I just understand that everything politicians say is absolute bullshit. Last time I read the paper was like the last time Calvin and Hobbes was in the paper. There's that.
It's not fair, I can't say anything back now.
Well, you just did that. So 2010 is like 3 days away from being over, and you know this year was woo! Earth's going around the sun. Yeah! Fine. I'm gonna watch a ball drop on top of a building and then go back up for next year. What? I'm going to be stuck in Times Square for 4 hours while everybody's puking and dying of alcohol poisoning. Yeah! Woo! New Year's! Shit! But what has happened over this magnificent year that we call 2010? The neutron, and that's about as far back as I can remember. So at the time that I bought a lot of weed. And that's about as far back as I can remember. I guess there was that eclipse that happened a few days ago, or about a week ago now. Yeah, I think what is it? It was 400 years since the last eclipse on a solstice. So if you think about it, last time people were watching that eclipse, they were like sacrificing a virgin to make sure their god gets back the moon. And what did we do this year? We drank virgin pina coladas in the hopes that we get back our alcohol. I remember watching the eclipse and thinking, what if there was just some crazy prophecy? Because there probably was about some prophecy about that eclipse, and the Earth was supposed to end at that moment, but somebody stopped it. And it's just all under wraps. Everything the government says is a lie, but even more so than usual. And it just makes me think, you know what? Why wouldn't they tell us about that? We could have ticker tape parades for all those people. You know, superheroes actually existed and shit, stopping shit like that all the time. And I realized that the reason that this stuff is so kept tightly under wraps is that if we all knew that superheroes actually existed, I would be eating just buckets of radioactive waste every day. just to see if I would get superpowers. It's not honestly, it's not a joke. If we find out one day, Batman actually exists, you will all be responsible for my death because I told you that I was going to be eating radioactive waste. Specifically when shit like that happens. So I could get the powers of Batman. Batman's powers are just sadness and anger and finding young boys. It's fantastic finding young boys. All three Robins, snap. Oh, orphans. They're so much cooler in the comic books. So much less sad. Fuck. I got a minute left and I've got nothing else to say besides I'm out! Realize how bad of an idea this is as soon as I actually hit the window. Oh, wow. Everybody, have a fantastic new year. I'm gonna go find a way to get drunk.